in MotoGP in Qatar, where we get to see the Tower of Champions, the Champions Tower Trophy, the race-winning prize here in Mandalika. Of course, the president himself is present here today and was going to be part of that special new grid ceremony. Unfortunately, these torrential rain conditions have curtailed all that. Such a shame for so many people. Lewis, of course, you got to understand and get a taste of just how popular MotoGP is in this part of the world. You attended that amazing pre-event where the riders did a parade in downtown Jakarta. It was like Beatlemania. It was like the Rolling Stones were in town. These guys are treated like rock stars. Whoa! Well, we said that there was some claps of thunder and bolts of lightning. What a get that is by our camera crews out on circuit. We should give actually a special mention to our camera operators as well, because
rather
they're out
you than
there.
me, guys.
Absolutely, what a shot that was. That just gives you an idea of just how troublesome the weather is proving here. But yeah, coming back to the pre-event, Lewis, you were pleasured enough to be there and witness firsthand just how massively popular MotoGP here is in this part of the world. It really was like Beatlemania. Look at that, off in the distance. We are getting the thunderstorms that were forecast.
Yes, it's a spectacular sight, although not the spectacular sight that I think anyone
our
wanted to
commentary box
watch.
now is actually shaking because this thunder is so fierce.
Yeah, I was about to say the parade that we saw on Wednesday was like nothing I've ever experienced. Neither was that. The feeling under our shoes in this commentary box, which was shaking with this electrical storm. Yeah, it was a tremendous day on Wednesday. It has to be said. The reception the riders got was like nothing I've ever experienced. The parade that took place early that morning in Jakarta from the President's Palace, the riders got to meet the President here of Indonesia and have some breakfast with him before they headed off through the streets. And I spoke about this earlier on in the weekend. There was a real Tour de France sort of vibe to it, with the fans lining the side of the road, with the ability to give high fives and fist bumps to the riders. They put on a great show as well for the best experience of some of these people's lives. They really do live and breathe MotoGP in this part of the world. Perhaps only football rivals MotoGP and motorcycle racing as a whole for popularity in this part of the world. They really do get behind it, and it's fitting that MotoGP does race in this part of the world. And yeah, the reception the riders got was incredible. Paul Espargaro spoke, as you mentioned a moment ago, that they felt like rock stars coming through the city centre, and were then essentially mobbed when they got to the nearby Kempinski Hotel where the parade came to a close. It was a memorable start to this week in Indonesia. The welcome we've had from the locals and from the organisers has been absolutely top-notch. As you say, they've put in an enormous amount of work to really bring this circuit up to standard, right the way from the pre-season test. Even in the last month, they've really done a lot of hard work on the infrastructure around here, the roads around the circuit, the grandstands. Even a month ago, this circuit was unrecognisable to what we have now. They really have done a tremendous job as well with the track surface. It's perhaps not the ultimate solution that we want, but it is certainly a step in the right direction.
So Aleix Espargaro and Alex Rins, all they can do is play the waiting game and hope for a break in this weather. As we said, those thunderclaps are getting so ferocious. Our commentary box was literally shaking. That's no exaggeration. I'm actually relieved that our dear colleague Amy Reynolds is actually not here. She's pretty fond of the old thunder. I hope you're well back in the UK, Amy. Of course, we're looking forward to hooking up with you again when the European season kicks off in Portimao. Love to Sam and Freddie. You will be relieved, I'm sure, watching from home, that you are back home in the UK and not experienced this torrential thunderstorms. To continue to give the latest updates then to the paddock and the pit lane. Fabio Quartararo still just trying to keep himself cool, keep himself relaxed. Will he hopefully get to start from his first pole position since the Catalunya battle in Barcelona last June? Now that here we go there. The pit lane is not going to open until 15:45 local time at the earliest. So the next update we are going to get will be in 25 minutes. So obviously, as you'd expect, the race organisers, the Mandalika organisation, in cooperation with the FIM, with Dorna and IRTA, they are giving ourselves the best possible chance of having this Grand Prix of Indonesia to take place. The pit lane will not open then now before 15:45 local time. There's going to be constant monitoring, of course, of the weather forecast. We've got the most sophisticated weather prediction systems in place Let's pop back down to pit lane and talk to Simon Crayfar, the first rookie into Q2 this year. A truly brilliant performance in Q1 yesterday by Fabio Di Gianantonio, only beaten by Pecco Bagnaia. When you looked at the list of names that were behind Digia, it was a truly astonishing performance to get himself through into Q2. He was due to start the race from 11th place. Let's hear from the Gresini man down in pit lane with Simon.
Fabio, your effort yesterday in qualifying made us all smile. It was pretty impressive considering the amount of time you've had on a MotoGP bike. I'd like to ask you, well, I'd like to hear what that was like, you know, putting that lap together, and what it's like sitting here about to go out in a wet race soon, and you've never ridden in full wet. So tell us about those things.
Well, I was so happy about yesterday because from Qatar we did a great step on the setup of the bike, and I was really confident, especially on the front, so I could push really hard on especially in the qualifying for time attack. Honestly, in Q2 I was not, let's say, 100% because I did FP3, FP4, Q1 also in Q2, so I was a bit tired, honestly. For this also I couldn't reply the 31.6 of the Q1, but yeah, it was a great lap, honestly. I was super happy about that. And yeah, I'm here waiting. Honestly, it's a pity that at the moment we cannot race because the conditions are what they are. But I'm just waiting. For sure, before a race, you are always so focused and try to be in the zone. But now everything is a bit lost, you know, because we are just waiting. We don't know what to do. Maybe we go out, maybe we go in, maybe we cannot go. It's a pity. And also, I would like to race in a normal condition with wet, but normal condition, because I would like to try the MotoGP bike on rain. But at the moment seems a bit too much, let's say.
Fabio, I imagine the team and Ducati have so much experience in the wet, they just put a setting that they tell you will work. Do you have any input on how you want the setting, or you just trust them and go ride it?
Well, for sure we start from our base setup of the dry, and we do all the modifyings for the wet. But honestly, I don't have any feedbacks. Also, then said to me, go out and enjoy, because we don't know anything. So also for me it will be my first time, and yeah, I'm waiting.
Fabio, thank you for your time. Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
Scenes you didn't expect to see at 3:15 on race day Sunday at the Indonesian Grand Prix. The entire pit lane is giving this lady an audience here.
Well, to be honest, let's hope this works. Apparently this is a local rain ritual.
Desperate times and all
Banish
that.
away these clouds. Let's hope this lady's efforts pay off, because we all want to see a MotoGP race take place here in Indonesia.
Well, if the rain stops and we do get a race, she should get the 25 points, quite frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. She get a special award at the end of the season from the FIM and from Dorna. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we are going to get the race that we've all come here for, the first Grand Prix of Indonesia in 25 years. There you can see there at the bottom of your screens, the pit lane will not open before 15:45 local time.
The bigger issue we may have, in addition to the obvious issue, which is the quantity of rain that's falling, is the sunlight. It's due to get dark here around about 6:30, just before 6:30 local time. So we've got around 3 hours to play with before it starts to get dark here, and you just wouldn't be able to race even if it was bone dry. So we are going to get to the stage at some point where that does become a deciding factor. But of course, at the moment, still no reason to panic necessarily too yet. We've still got plenty of time for conditions to hopefully improve. And of course, with Moto3 and Moto2 having already raced earlier today, this is rather different to perhaps a scenario that might be coming into people's heads of Silverstone in 2018. We have only one more race to go. Marc Marquez was hoping to start it. Speaking to our colleagues at DAZN with Spanish TV, he's been speaking that he feels good, a little bit stunned, but he is okay. Of course, we saw Marc Marquez on his feet and, of course, heading to the hospital via the air ambulance, but under his own steam, on his own 2 feet. And we, of course, hope to see Marc Marquez back in action in 2 weeks' time when we return to Termas de Rio Hondo for the Argentinian Grand Prix, another circuit, much like the race that follows that, the Circuit of the Americas, for the Grand Prix of the Americas, 2 circuits that Marc Marquez has had great success at in the past.
Yeah, good to hear. Marc did make his way back to the paddock, and he was able to talk to Spanish TV, as Lewis said. He was stunned. We've all been stunned by his crash-strewn weekend in here. That bruising crash in the warm-up session this morning at turn 7 when he was violently flicked a good 15 feet in the air. I mean, it was one of the worst crashes I've ever seen. I've been around this MotoGP paddock since 1996. The good news, of course, was that Mark was relatively okay. He was concussed. The bad news rolled out of this Indonesian Grand Prix, which at the moment, unfortunately, has not yet got going. We are waiting patiently, as is the entire pit lane, hoping and praying that we will get the race action underway as soon as we possibly can. There's Razlan Razli, of course, from the With You RNF team. We just saw there Darren Binder looking as relaxed and as cool and calm as ever. Nothing will faze for the South African at all. Lynn Jarvis there looking on as well. Will Fabio Quartararo get the chance to start from that pole position? The 1:31.067 that he set just over 24 hours ago now as yet another big bolt of lightning illuminates the sky out of our commentary box position here. And then again there's another big clap of thunder. Unfortunately, the forecasts were absolutely spot on when we walked into the media centre this morning around 7:30 a.m. local time.
Who is your 8 very impressive Ducati riders, you know, some rookies, some very experienced. I'd love to hear your thoughts on each of them if you have time.
Yeah, sure. I think we have plenty of time. Let's hope the rain stops pretty soon and we can have a race today, because so many spectators and the president of Indonesia is here. So we must have a race, I think. What can I say? I think we were impressed positively by all the riders, obviously starting from Enea. You know, he did a fantastic job in Qatar, riding impressively. It's his second season in MotoGP, but for sure to be able to qualify.
We certainly didn't expect Pol Espargaro to be lining up 16th on the grid for this Grand Prix. Of course, the changes to the tyres, Michelin bringing this stiffer construction of tyre, the different casing to deal with the heat that we were expecting here in dry conditions, has certainly caught Repsol Honda out. Pol Espargaro was fast. So I wonder what the debrief will be then as they return to the pit lane. Of course, we're expecting perhaps the next update very shortly.
Well, it's a bad sign, isn't it? You can just see the pace of those windscreen wipers on the BMW safety car. That gives you an indication of just how strong the rainfall is still falling. Franco Ancini and Loris Capirossi, they've done a fair few laps out there already, haven't they? So there's a further update then that's just filtering through from race direction. Initially, the pit lane of Fabio Quartararo, he absolutely loved it. Come on, Fabio, we need to see your moves. We know you've got great moves out